Hi, Mr. Novak here. Just another lesson where we just do a little bit of more practice with our calculator. So waiting for the other classes to catch up. So you need to follow your teacher's instructions, but basically we're doing intro part two. So that was the introduction, and I in there had a video on how to use a calculator to do all the features of a quadratic. So we're going to put them to practice. We're going to do exercise 5A and 5C with our calculators only. So what we need to do is we need to work with our work document, and basically if you go into the work document, I want you to do, I want you to do question exercise 5A, all of those, yes, all of those with your calculator. Be surprised how quickly you'll get through. And the same with exercise 5C. For instance, I will show you how we'll go to one of the hardest ones and how easy this can be done with our calculator. Record your answers so that you actually can then use it as your answers for when we come back to these exercises and do them manually. So, for instance, if I bring down, there we go. We're going to do this question here, question 22 from exercise 5A. So I'll do that by, again, going to my calculator. There it is there. So solve each equation using completing the squares. So we might want to say, oh, okay, I know how to do that using my calculator. I simply go menu, algebra, free, try and use your keypad. Oops. We undo that. If you ever make a mistake, press escape or control escape. Yeah, there we go. Try again. Menu. So that's free for algebra. And we're doing completing the squares, option number 5. Um, and we can just simply type in that equation. So that's 3 times x squared plus 18x plus 21 equals 0. And don't forget, we need the comma, and we're solving for the variable x. Press enter, and there's your completing square. So that's your second line. So you would write this first line out, write your completing squares, and now we can solve it. And that's simply basically going menu 3, option 1 to solve. We can then cursor up to highlight the expression only. I'll see if I can just delete the square bit. And press enter. And there's our solution, which is a surd. Remember, in calculator page, you'll get the exact. So that's all you need to do for all of exercise 5A. Most of the time, you'll only be just doing this last step, menu solve, menu 3.1, I should say. But here they asked to complete the squares as a step. Right, so that's the exercise 5A. Then we go on to exercise 5C. So if you go on to exercise 5C, they'll be just simply asking you to sketch various techniques. So let's go straight to question 16, one of the last questions, and we're asked to graph a sketch of this. So knowing that you can use your calculator because it's tech able, you'll simply load up a graph page, and we just type in that equation, which is x squared plus 2x, so that's x squared plus 2x minus 7. Press enter. Remember, we need to see most of it, so when you get back, you'll be able to. In the meantime, you have to go menu Windows settings, and so we want the Y minimum to be about minus, say, minus 15. The rest looked all right. Press OK. We can see it. We now need to identify the x-intercepts, and of course, the turning point is what was mentioned. So that's, remember, is menu 5.1. Cursor left and right until you get to a certain point of interest. Oops, I'll come back to that one. Press enter, and there's your go back to the minimum. That's your turning point. Enter, and then the y-intercept, just might as well enter, and finally the last point, enter. We now escape, and we can maneuver some of these things out of the way. Oops. Remember here, the calculator only gives you decimal, or in rather vulgar fractions. And here's the interesting thing. Remember, the equation is x squared plus 2x minus 7. And as I say, in this format, I can see the y-intercept straight away. There it is, minus 7. Can you see the y-intercept in the equation? So now we ask you to do the same for exercise 5C. Yes, there's lots of questions to be done. But remember, with the aid of the calculator, it's pretty straightforward. Record your answers, and yeah, maybe not so much here because they are drawn. Maybe just do a couple. But all we want to do is get practice using your calculator. And so that will be for the entire double period. And Friday, we're hoping that we can get started, but we'll take it nice and easy just in case the other classes are still trying to come to terms with how to use their calculator as well. So have a good session, and remember, if you need any help, ask me or your teacher for assistance there. Have a great session.